Good morning. My name is Gustavo Oberto, and I'm the President of Irrigation at Lindsay Corporation. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to our first ever virtual launch event. Today, we have guests from all around the world, including the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, Argentina, Russia, Europe, and so many more places. So welcome, bem-vindos, bienvenidos, dobro požadovat, and ahlan bika. Of course, we wish you were all here with us in person, but with continuing concerns around COVID-19 and prioritizing safety in accordance with our core values, we decided this was the best way to gather everyone together to share some big news that we believe will drive the next era of mechanized irrigation. Now, it's been an unusually challenging year, and no one knows that better than our growers. From increasingly volatile weather conditions to tightening margins, farming is constantly changing, getting more complex. But now, more than ever, growers care about the impact they're making on their land and the resources, and they're asking for new tools and methods to help them improve efficiency, reduce risk, and boost productivity. As a technology leader in our industry, it is our responsibility to respond to their concerns and help them overcome those challenges, to expand the circle of innovation and deliver cutting-edge solutions that will simplify operations, increase yield, while saving water and energy. It is a responsibility we don't take lightly. Our teams are continuously pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and today we're excited to show you how we're accelerating our efforts to help growers around the world meet what lies ahead. We're happy that you could join us as we announce our big news and demonstrate new, groundbreaking capabilities. Here at Lindsay, we're always innovating, thinking outside the box, and using customer feedback to help us create the technology that will take mechanized irrigation to the next level. You've seen the pivot of today. Now, get ready to see the pivot of tomorrow. Let's turn to Wade Seeking, Lindsay's Global Director of Product Management, to share our exciting new technology. Wade, take it over.
Thank you, Gustavo. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for being here. Today, we're extremely proud to announce the Smart Pivot, a groundbreaking innovation that significantly raises the bar for the mechanized irrigation industry. Moving beyond traditional water application and management, the Smart Pivot combines advanced agronomic capabilities with state-of-the-art machine health features to provide real-time crop health and operational support throughout the growing season. In short, this is the pivot of the future. The Smart Pivot comes to life through two smart streams: advanced agronomics and machine health, designed to reduce risk and operational downtime while supporting healthier crops and more sustainable farming practices. We are leading the Smart Pivot design and development effort in collaboration with two industry-leading technology partners. A deepening relationship and joint development with Microsoft Azure brings expertise in machine learning and edge-of-field computing, helping to power the Smart Pivot's machine health features. A newly announced partnership with digital agronomy solution provider Taranis is bringing an incredibly smart set of advanced agronomic capabilities that, in combination with our award-winning FieldNet irrigation management platform, are unparalleled in the industry today. So, what exactly can you expect from the Smart Pivot? What if I told you it would allow you to see crop growth as it happens, automatically detect and identify weeds, pests, and disease, to monitor moisture and nutrient availability, to know if a tire is going flat before it happens, or a gearbox is showing signs of wear? What if the Smart Pivot alerted you to these changes and connected to a dealer automatically to send out a service tech, all while you're enjoying your coffee at the kitchen table or watching your daughter's ball game? With our Smart Pivot, those what ifs become what's possible. A pivot is always in the field and covers the entire field. Center pivots can do much more than water crops. They're uniquely positioned to provide growers with unparalleled access, both above and below the crop canopy. The Smart Pivot uses sensors, high-resolution imagery, and advanced algorithms to detect problems such as nutrient deficiencies or pressures from pest and disease. Think of it this way. The pivot's a robot, on alert 24/7, effectively seeing everything that's going on in every part of your field. instantly scaling up your ability to identify and correct issues before they become problems. The Smart Pivot is self-aware, monitoring health at the component level, helping to identify performance anomalies that could lead to downtime. Remote connectivity between the pivot and the dealer service technicians will enable automatic notifications and service scheduling. This will significantly help reduce risk, lower operating costs, and improve reliability. This enhanced equipment monitoring will help detect application issues such as ponding, plugged sprinklers, and poor spray patterns to enable greater uniformity and precision. The Smart Pivot also calculates resource savings in real time, helping growers determine how much water and energy savings they're realizing, and helping them to achieve their sustainability goals. As Gustavo said, we believe it's our responsibility to provide growers with solutions to help them get more out of their tools and investments, and to sustain their operations for generations to come. While these features define the Smart Pivot that we're announcing today, I can assure you we've only scratched the surface of what's possible. Some of this may sound too good to be true, but these aren't just ideas. We've been busy building prototypes that we'd like to show you right now. Next, Lindsay's software product manager, Albert Marin, will lead you through a demonstration of the Smart Pivot user interface, which is where these ideas I've just described come to life.
Hi everyone, I'm Albert Morin and I'm really excited to demonstrate the Smart Pivot features and benefits for you today. Let's begin by taking a closer look at machine health through the Smart Pivot virtual experience powered by FieldNet. The Smart Pivot is collecting more data than ever before at multiple locations along the pivot using our tower operability sensor technology. This data collection and rapid processing enables real-time monitoring of system health and performance. What this means for growers is that the pivot is now capable of monitoring and self-diagnosing performance issues that can be relayed directly to your Zmatic dealer in real time, delivering peace of mind and reducing downtime. The Lindsay Smart Pivot goes a step beyond continuous monitoring of onboard systems. Through edge-of-field computing, the Smart Pivot can predict component failures before they occur by looking at trends in the captured data. Let's take a look at the Smart Pivot virtual experience to get a closer look. From the machine health view on the Smart Pivot virtual experience, we can get a quick bird's eye view of system health and performance for multiple devices at one time. System health is represented by the green nodes spaced along the pivot at the tower locations where we are continuously collecting and looking at trends in the data to determine the performance characteristics of the machine. If we click on one of the systems, we can zoom in and take a closer look. Here we can see the various onboard systems in their current state represented as normal, indicating that everything is operating as expected. In the event where the Smart Pivot detects something unexpected, we would see the state change from normal to a warning or a critical status. Let's take a look at one of these events in action. Here we see that the leading tire on tower number 4 has been dropping in pressure over the last 2 hours and will likely run flat within the next 3 hours. We have the option to contact our Zmatic dealer for immediate assistance. Since we are experiencing suboptimal tire pressure levels, we can see that the tire pressure status has changed from normal to critical, and we are receiving a warning status on motor load and temperature. Once the dealer arrives on site and completes the repair, we will see the system status goes back to normal. Issue detected, issue resolved. Now let's take a look at how the Smart Pivot can help you boost your operational efficiency. We understand that farming is dynamic and decisions are being made constantly. These decisions, when reinforced with the proper application of technology, can lead to more sustainable farming practices. This can lead to reductions in water and energy, reductions in CO2 emissions, time savings, and increased productivity. The Smart Pivot is continuously tracking operational efficiency and providing proof points of how technology is benefiting your operation. Let's take a look at the Smart Pivot virtual experience. Clicking on the Efficiency tab, we are presented with color-coded representation of the water that has been saved so far this season. We can toggle this view to show some of the other efficiency metrics that are being measured using the layer selector in the top right. By clicking on one of the circles, we can see more information about a particular system and the efficiency performance. Scrolling down, we get to the efficiency breakdown section, where we can see how individual management decisions made throughout the season, as well as the application of various precision technologies, can lead to savings in time, water, energy, and CO2 emissions. Let's take a closer look at the top two breakdowns. The first increase in efficiency is related to the use of variable rate irrigation to dynamically compensate for the amount of water being applied based on field level soil variability. The second is the calculated savings associated with the Smart Pivot's decision to automatically adjust the irrigation plan based on changing weather conditions and forecasts. So there you go. These savings are aggregated throughout the course of the growing season so that you can see real proof points of how your decisions and application of technology are benefiting your operation. All of this provides enhanced visibility into recognizing the value of your investment. So now let's talk about irrigation scheduling. Properly timed irrigation is critical to sustainability and the longevity of your operation. The Smart Pivot takes advantage of Lindsay's award-winning cloud-based irrigation scheduling solution, FieldNet Advisor, to deliver the right amount of water in the right place at the right time. FieldNet Advisor is utilizing a variety of data sources and models to show how much water is available to the plant, accounting for all the variability across the field. The Lindsay Smart Pivot with FieldNet Advisor can account for multiple crop types and planting dates, as well as multiple soil types in a single field to provide an accurate recommendation of when, where, and how much water to apply. Now let's take a look at what this looks like within the virtual experience. By clicking on the Water tab, we are presented with a map layer that shows the amount of water that is currently available to the plant. The color scale represents how wet or dry each management zone is within the field. Red indicates that soil moisture levels are causing plant stress. Green represents the optimal water zone, and blue indicates moisture levels are approaching field capacity. This is a very useful, quick reference to decide which fields and areas within those fields are requiring irrigation. By clicking on a management zone, we can see more detailed information about the irrigation requirements for this area of the field. Represented at the top, we see the available water percentage as well as the depth of depletion. The full season depletion profile can be viewed quickly and easily using the water level graph. The green line represents the available water both observed and projected for the entire season from planting through maturity. Below the water level graph, we can see the next recommended irrigation and how many days until we project crop stress in this area of the field. To enable these irrigation recommendations, the Smart Pivot utilizes FieldNet Advisor proprietary crop growth models to track crop growth and daily crop water usage. This information can be further demonstrated from the crop growth section. At a high level, we are seeing the growth stages of the crop in each field as well as the percentage complete. A quick click into the field drills down further to show crop type and hybrid. We have also included a very useful graph that shows observed and projected daily crop water usage. This graph allows you to see critical periods during the growing season where the crop water usage is high and where you need to make sure irrigation is sufficient to meet crop water demands. Properly timed irrigations are one way the Smart Pivot is helping boost efficiency and profitability. But the Smart Pivot doesn't stop there. More yield doesn't always equal more profit. It's important to consider input costs when trying to maximize profitability. The Smart Pivot is helping growers understand the relationship between input costs to yield opportunity to help you become more profitable. Now let's see how the Smart Pivot helps you do that. Coming back to the water layer, we are going to now look at the plan section, where the Smart Pivot is making recommendations of how much water needs to be applied to keep up with crop water demands. Clicking into one of the fields, we see that the Smart Pivot is providing a recommendation of the optimal water usage to boost profitability. In this scenario, the Smart Pivot is recommending that 97% of projected yield is the sweet spot for profitability. What this represents is that we can actually be more profitable by applying less water because the input costs to achieve the greater amount of yield outweigh the additional financial benefit from the increase in output. If achieving higher yield is your objective, you can always use the slider bar to boost yield output in exchange for increasing water requirements. Or maybe you want to conserve water. Simply drag the slider to the left. Smart Pivot will model the yield potential and profitability based on the reduction in pumping. The yield to relative water usage graph shows the relationship between yield output to profit gained, taking into account water and energy costs. Boosting crop performance relies on more than just water. Now let's take a look at how we're using imagery to take in-field analytics to the next level. Imagery is a proven tool that can tell you a lot about changing field conditions and help you locate issues that are difficult to observe when relying on visual inspection. The Smart Pivot deploys multispectral imaging sensors optical still cameras, and video to go beyond anomaly detection and provide identification of leaf level issues. Crop health, growth stage monitoring, pest and disease pressure, weather-related damage, and application issues such as plug nozzles are all useful applications of imagery. The Smartpivot image recognition technology, powered by Taranis, automatically analyzes leaf-level imagery to provide notifications about field health and application performance. Now let me show you how that looks. Knowing where to look for leaf-level issues spread out over thousands of acres can be a daunting task. And when relying on visual inspection alone, often issues go undetected until it's too late. The Smartpivot is constantly analyzing the most recent satellite imagery to detect field-level anomalies. If the root cause cannot be identified at the satellite level, the Smartpivot can deploy a drone or dispatch the pivot to capture a higher resolution image for deeper analysis. In this scenario, a recent satellite image has detected an anomaly in one of our fields. We can click to view the recent imagery for further investigation. Now, the Smartpivot knows something is different about a particular area and asks us to deploy an autonomous drone to get a closer look. I will release the drone and the view switches to a first-person view as the drone makes its way out to the identified area. As it approaches its destination, the camera will switch from visible to thermal for additional data collection. Now on site, the drone will be capturing data specific to the target location to determine the root cause of the anomaly detected at the satellite level. In this case, the drone survey indicates that we need to adjust the variable rate plan to account for some undetected soil variability. This update to the plan was applied automatically. This is a great example of how the Smartpivot goes beyond just anomaly detection and provides not only identification, but also a resolution. To see more examples, let's look at the analytics page. First, we'll look at this detected growth stage change. When I click on the indicator, I can view additional information about what was detected and see the corresponding high-resolution image. In this case, we are detecting that the corn in this area reached tassel on July 8th. Identification of critical growth stages allows you to make more informed irrigation management decisions. Now let's take a look at some ponding that has been detected. From the image, we can clearly see where we have water accumulation on the field. This could create a trouble spot for the pivot or other equipment. We can use this information to adjust any irrigation applied in this area to prevent further propagation and avoid unnecessary runoff. And that wraps up the software portion of our demonstration. Because customer input is so integral to our innovation process and has directly contributed to the Smartpivot capabilities, we're confident that the Smartpivot will change the way you and the industry look at and use center pivot irrigation. But as Wade said, also know that this is just the beginning, and our teams will continue to push the envelope to develop and deliver meaningful solutions to growers. There are a lot of data and processes working together to deliver those features that I just demonstrated. Fast, good quality data is essential to Smartpivot functionality. Next, Lindsay's head of engineering for controls and industrial Internet of Things, Mark Miller, joins us with a special behind-the-scenes look at how we're cultivating that data. Mark?
Thanks, Albert. I'm here today to give you a brief look at some of the connectivity and data collection methods on the Smartpivot, powering many of those crop and machine health capabilities. By networking the pivot, we're enabling pivots and laterals to become a platform of connected sensors, imagery inputs, and controls integrated with analytics. If you take a look at our mini networking prototype here in our innovation lab at our Omaha headquarters, this is a representation of how we're collecting much of that data being utilized to deliver those incredible features and benefits. So let's talk about what a networked pivot is. What we've done here is we've fully networked the length of the pivot using minimal wiring all the way down the spans to enable collection of data from various sensors. A typical span cable has been replaced with 3-phase power wires and an Ethernet cable. This allows us to obtain data about how the pivot is operating, about the field and the environment. It also enables more precise tower controls that help us better manage the entire machine. Now let's take a closer look at some of our tower control sensors, all of which have been developed as contactless sensors. These sensors provide more precise control of the machine and simpler installation due to being integrated into the Pivot network. Alignment sensors, auto reverse sensors, twist safety sensors, wheel track monitoring sensors, which help keep the pivot from operating over items or where it does not belong, and position sensing, which helps enable trending of data and accurate speed control of the machine. Now let's talk about tower operability sensors. These sensors enable predictive maintenance via machine learning. So we are collecting data about the pivot and how it is operating at each tower. We are monitoring voltage at each tower, motor amp draw as the pivot moves around the field, motor and gearbox temperature during all conditions, and tower vibration sensors to trend for anomalies. We have also incorporated field condition sensors and will utilize Microsoft Azure to help power analysis of the data generated by these sensors. We have multispectral imaging sensors that provide crop health, crop stress, crop moisture monitoring, crop nitrogen content, and soil moisture content. We have optical still cameras that provide growth stage monitoring and pest and blight monitoring. And we have optical video cameras. I hope that gives you a better understanding of how we're enabling smart pivot data collection. The possibilities for continuing to improve productivity and efficiency truly are endless, but we are laser focused on bringing these concepts to life in real-world solutions coming to a field near you very soon. For more on that, here's Brian Magnussen, our Vice President of Irrigation for the Americas. He's going to explain how we expect these new innovations to change the market and when.
Thanks, Mark. What you've seen here today reflects the intersection of what is now possible to deliver by leveraging the latest technological advancements and applying them to the many key wants and previously unmet needs we've heard from our customers. But what does the Smart Pivot really mean for growers? Think of it this way. The personal computer changed the way many of us work. The smartphone changed the way we communicate with one another and access data. Agriculture has seen similar technological milestones over the years. At the turn of the 20th century, tractors and combines replaced horses and greatly increased the output of an individual farmer. The 1930s saw the advent of hybrid seeds that significantly increased yields. The 1950s saw the invention of the center pivot, a major advancement in crop production that drastically increased yield potential across millions of acres worldwide. The later part of the 20th century brought the use of GPS positioning, mobile communications, data telemetry, and a host of other precision ag tools that again changed how we farm. Like those important advancements, Lindsay and our partners are now driving the next wave of groundbreaking innovations that will transform traditional irrigation systems and change the way growers use and interact with their center pivots. Today, we gave you a glimpse into the future. Not just what is possible, but what is imminently coming. For Lindsay and our customers, the future is now.